All right, so are you thinking about jumping into AI investing? Trying to decide between Broadcom and Nvidia?
Well, it's definitely a hot topic right now.
For sure, and especially with like Goldman Sachs predicting tech companies are going to be spending a ton on AI infrastructure.
Yeah.
It seems like a good area to,
Yeah. Seems like a good bet.
yeah, to be looking into. There's this Motley Fool article that breaks down both these companies. Really interesting stuff.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one. It really lays it all out there. It gives you a good sense of how each company is approaching things.
Okay, so first up, Broadcom. They're predicted to have something like 220% growth in AI revenue for 2024.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. Is it all hype, though, or is there something real behind it?
Oh, no, there's something there. A lot of it's coming from their specialized chips. They're called ASICs.
Okay.
And they're designed to be super efficient for specific tasks, which makes them, perfect for things like data centers, especially with all the demand from generative AI.
So, I mean, NVIDIA is a big name in data centers, too, right, with their GPUs.
Well,
so what makes Broadcom different?
Right. Well, it's not just about being on the data centers. It's about what you bring to them.
Okay.
NVIDIA's GPUs are more like general purpose, super powerful for graphics processing, which is, how they got into AI in the first place. But Broadcom's ASICs, they're designed specifically for certain AI workloads.
Okay.
So it can actually be better performance and more power efficient.
So it's like comparing a specialized tool to a Swiss Army knife.
Exactly.
They both work, but sometimes you need that, you need a specific tool to do the job right. And speaking of doing the job, this article mentions Broadcom's working with 3 major tech companies.
Yeah.
That each could be using 1 million of their AI chips by 2027.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's a lot of chips. Any idea who these companies are?
It's all speculation right now, nothing official.
Okay.
But even OpenAI, the people behind ChatGPT, they're rumored to be looking at Broadcom. Yeah, for their AI chips. So, that says something.
That's a pretty big endorsement.
Yeah.
If it's true.
Yeah.
So Broadcom CEO Hock Tan seems pretty confident, too. He's predicting their AI chip and infrastructure market could reach like $90 billion by 2027.
Yeah.
Is that realistic, or is he getting a little carried away?
Well, it's a bold prediction for sure.
Yeah.
But when you consider that Goldman Sachs forecast, remember about the $1 trillion AI infrastructure investment.
Right.
Broadcom could definitely get a big piece of that if things go their way.
Okay, so Broadcom's making waves, but let's be real. NVIDIA is still the darling of the AI stock world.
Yeah.
What's driving that?
Well, it's really their history and their dominance in the GPU market.
Right.
They were already the go-to for high-performance computing, so it was kind of natural for them to become a major player as AI started taking off.
Right, because GPUs are really good for the kind of parallel processing AI needs, and, they're already in data centers. They had a head start.
For sure.
This article mentions that like 70 to 95% of AI data centers are using NVIDIA GPUs.
Wow.
That's a pretty big market share.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, are they just sitting back now and letting the money roll in?
No, not at all.
No.
They're constantly innovating.
Oh, okay.
They've got these new Blackwell chips. Everyone's trying to get their hands on them.
I can see why. This article says that NVIDIA's recent sales jumped like 94%.
Yeah, wow.
And earnings were up 103%. And a lot of that is coming from their data center revenue.
Yeah, it's no surprise. Their CEO, Jensen Huang, he's predicting AI infrastructure investments will hit like $2 trillion in the next 5 years.
$2 trillion?
Yeah, so that's a massive market. And NVIDIA is in a really good position to take advantage of it.
Okay. So we've got 2 powerhouses here, both with their own strengths and their own strategies. But let's be honest, what everyone really wants to know is, which is the better investment?
That's the $1 million question.
Exactly.
Honestly, they're both solid long-term investments for AI. It's just that they have different approaches.
Okay. All right, so let's get specific. If you had to pick one right now, which would you choose and why?
That's tough. Well, if I had to choose today,
Yeah.
I'd probably go with NVIDIA.
Okay.
They've got that established market position, and their forward price-to-earnings ratio is a bit lower than Broadcom's.
Can you explain that ratio a little bit? I think some people might not be familiar with that and what it means.
Oh, yeah, sure. So the forward PE, it basically compares a company's stock price to how much they're expected to earn per share, in the future.
Okay.
So a lower PE, it sometimes can mean that the stock is undervalued, compared to how much they might actually earn.
So basically, NVIDIA, even though everyone's excited about them, their stock price is maybe a little bit more reasonable right now compared to Broadcom.
Exactly. Of course, it's just one factor to consider.
Right.
There's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely something to keep in mind.
For sure. For sure. And we have to remember, too, that even though both companies are doing great, the market can change quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Right? There could be some ups and downs, especially if investors decide to sell and take their profits.
Yeah, that's a good point. We're dealing with a really fast-moving landscape here. Things can change in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
It's important to stay on top of things and just, be ready for anything.
Absolutely. It sounds like both of these companies, Broadcom and Nvidia, they have a lot going for them.
Yeah, definitely a lot of buzz.
But I'm kind of curious about those companies that maybe aren't as well known,
Right.
Could there be like a dark horse in this AI race?
Oh, for sure. And that's what makes this whole area so exciting, where it's moving so fast. There's always a chance for someone to come out of nowhere and just shake things up.
Right, like remember BlackBerry?
Yeah.
Everyone thought they were like the top dog, and then the iPhone just changed everything.
Exactly. Just shows you how fast things can change, especially with tech.
Yeah, so even though Broadcom and Nvidia are leading the pack now, there's no guarantee they'll stay there. It's like an AI arms race.
It is, totally. And it's not even just about the chips.
Yeah.
It's the whole ecosystem, the data centers, the networking, the software.
Right.
It all has to work together.
Right, which brings us back to that Goldman Sachs prediction, the $1 trillion in AI infrastructure spending. Everyone wants a piece of that pie.
Yeah, $1 trillion. That's a lot of pie. And that's what makes this whole thing so interesting for investors. It's not just about picking a winning company. It's understanding the bigger picture, the trends.
So for our listener who's maybe trying to figure out okay, where do I put my money? What's the most important takeaway?
I think the key is don't get tunnel vision,
Yeah.
Broadcom, Nvidia, they're strong. But do your research.
Yeah.
Look for those companies that maybe have innovative technology or strong partnerships or a really clear vision for where things are going, and diversify. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, especially in a field that's changing as fast as AI.
Diversification, that's always a good strategy.
Always.
So, I mean, this whole deep dive has been really interesting, but it also feels like we're just scratching the surface,
That's right.
It's exciting, but it's also a little overwhelming. Where do you even begin?
Right. It can feel that way.
Yeah.
Like you're drinking from a fire hose.
Yeah.
But I think that's part of what makes it so fascinating.
Yeah.
We're seeing it a total shift, and it's affecting everything.
Yeah.
Just approach it with an open mind and be ready to learn.
So for our listener, maybe a good place to start is to just pick one area of AI that they're interested in, something that really, really catches their attention.
Yeah, I love that. Healthcare or transportation, finance, whatever it is. Focus on that and see how AI is being used in that area.
Yeah, it's a good way to break it down into smaller pieces. And as you learn more about that one area, you start to see how it all connects to the bigger picture.
Exactly. Find something that you're passionate about, something that makes you want to learn more.
And who knows, maybe our listener will find the next big thing, the company that no one's even talking about yet.
Wouldn't that be great? To be ahead of everyone else.
That would be amazing. But even if you don't become the next AI investing guru, just the process of learning it's its own reward.
Totally agree. It's about learning, challenging what you think you know, and just being more aware of how AI is changing things.
It's pretty amazing to think about all the ways AI is going to change our lives.
I know, right?
Yeah.
We're not just talking about automating stuff anymore.
Yeah.
AI is being used to solve these huge problems.
Yeah.
Coming up with new medical treatments or even tackling climate change.
And that's a big deal for investors too, right?
Absolutely.
It's not just about the money, but it's about understanding how these companies and their tech are shaping the future.
Yeah, exactly. When you invest in AI, you're not just investing in a company. You're investing in a vision of what the future could be.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. So for our listener, whether you're looking into Broadcom or Nvidia or even those, those under the radar companies we were talking about.
Yeah.
Think about the bigger picture, right?
Yeah.
How are these companies and their AI, their innovations going to change things? Are they going to help solve some of these global problems, create new industries? maybe even change how we interact with the world.
Those are the questions that keep me up at night. It's not just about making a smart investment. It's about being a part of something that could really change things.
I like that. So to our listener, we challenge you to think beyond just the numbers,
Yeah.
the balance sheets and the stock prices. Dive into this world of AI, explore it, and think about how you might be a part of it.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe you'll be the one to discover the next big thing in AI. But until then, keep learning, stay curious, and happy investing.
Happy investing.